I've just finished playing through the most absolutely fabulous first-person shooter that you'll likely never have even heard of. Fashion Police Squad is just as bonkers as it sounds, and what's even better is that I got to enjoy it without spending a penny, as it's just been included as a free title on Amazon Prime Gaming. Taking on its very own unique style in more ways than one, you'll want to stick around to hear what exactly makes this title worth a go. On the surface, we have a very cartoony retro-style boomer shooter that could mislead you into thinking this game is perhaps a bit basic. However, it is anything but. While it does sit nicely into the casual genre on the grounds of how easy it is to pick up, it's actually pretty challenging and fundamentally is a really well put together and entertaining game that deserves more attention. Purposefully, this game has made its own road with a very tongue-in-cheek theme of fashion and is proudly as camp as Christmas. But if you've been more accustomed to blasting demons back through the gates of Hellspawn in titles like Quake and Doom, don't switch off thinking this game won't be for you. Because it perfectly executes all the fundamentals you'd want from a first-person shooter while managing to present it all in a fresh way that means you're not playing through it thinking you've been there and done it all before. Because you certainly haven't.
Time to serve some good old-fashioned justice.
Instead of killing zombies, aliens or criminals with an array of machine guns and shotguns, you'll be saving the world from a bad dressing epidemic as a shadowy figure hatches a plan to try and send the world into the fashion dark ages of Crocs, neon tank tops and padded shoulder pads.
Hey, tough guy! Do you like my Speedos?
The story is easy to follow and serves as a good vehicle for delivering the many hours of non-stop action. I've mentioned the game is fundamentally a very good shooter, and I say this because you genuinely need to be capable of moving and shooting. By the end of it, I'm confident your aiming skill will have improved more than if you'd have spent a comparable amount of time playing aim trainers. Although the story is linear, leading you through a predetermined route, often needing to clear an area of foes before moving on, it never gets boring. As FPS games often do, you'll gain access to new weapons and abilities as you progress through the missions. And the missions themselves will offer a nice variety of experience. Like the best Call of Duty games, mix things up with a classic AC-130 gunship mission or a chase mission on a Ski-Doo or helicopter. Fashion Police Squad takes its own slant. In one mission, you have to take up a sniper position and prevent moles from infiltrating a live streaming event. You have to spot the baddies and then shoot them with the correct ammunition type to fix their fashion faux pas, whether that's a bad hairdo, inappropriate footwear, or something else. The game is hilariously daft and should be taken that way. The story is punctuated with stereotypes, over-the-top language, and characters, but it is all meant in good fun. Every level presents a new type of enemy you have to defeat, including the introduction at one point of Karen.
I am insulted! Get me your manager!
She'll come with you with her toxicity while belting out little quips claiming to be the victim. Each enemy has a different type of fashion weakness, and you defeat them by selecting the correct weapon. For Karen, it's her shapeless baggy dress, and so you need to equip your sewing machine gun. For the dreary grey-suited corporate types, you have to put some colour in their lives with the to-die-for paintball shotgun. I'd read some of the reviews saying the need to select the right gun to defeat the enemies is tiresome and maybe too difficult, but personally I think this mechanic is a key addition to making it challenging and as such helping make it that bit more interesting. I started the game on one of the more difficult settings, but admittedly I toned this down a bit as I progressed through as the levels were getting pretty difficult. I think I was lulled into a false sense of security by the appearance of the game when I first loaded it up, but I can assure you this game is no pushover and difficulty does scale up properly as you progress through. With a greater variety of enemies all swarming at you in varying waves, you're constantly kept having to think on your feet about selecting the right weapon and prioritising which enemies to go for first if you want to survive. Alas, if you take too much damage, you don't die. Instead, you get a bit tired and need a little bit of a lie down. Graphically, it makes use of a vivid colour palette and flamboyant styling that means even with this minimalist look, it never gets dull in the eye. And a bonus of the simple textures is that the game runs smoother than the finest mulberry silk. Even when your screen is packed with more questionably dressed folks than your local branch of Games Workshop, you won't experience any slowdown. And this is perfect for maintaining the fast pace and constant action. You can break things up, however, with some very minor bits of exploration, seeking out secret areas and Easter eggs. And in addition to the main story missions, there are a number of special challenge levels where you can challenge yourself or friends to beat the best time or score. I do have to say that this game came out a couple of years ago, and so it might be fair to suggest that Call of Duty's massively popular Get High mode might have taken at least some real inspiration from one of Fashion Police Squad's challenge levels. And I think that's a credit to how Mopeful Games, the indie developers responsible, had really used their noggins to come up with a game that is inspiring and original. The soundtrack is suitably funky and can be tuned up or down in the settings depending on your like of it, but I think it fit the game, and because of how it plays, you're not needing to sit close to the screen and use a custom audio mix to listen out for footstep audio or anything. None of that nonsense, just good, casual fun to switch off with here. In fact, if you are a fan of the soundtrack, this can be purchased as a standalone from the Steam store, but the game itself is very reasonably priced at under $20 across all platforms, even at full price if you don't manage to get it through Prime Gaming or on sale. I managed to speedrun it in a day and a half, but if you get the difficulty settings up and attempted the challenge modes, you could come back to this game for months on end, if you did the 13 story missions in chunks. There's no online multiplayer, but having seen major titles like Concord and X-Defiant fail completely, it's probably a sensible choice that this indie game has focused all of its efforts on producing a really enjoyable single-player experience. And that is largely where I want to sum this all up, folks. I could go on, blabbing more about it, about how good it is, about how much fun it is, but I genuinely think you should just go out there and play it for yourselves. In a sea of titles increasingly following the same boring trends and pursuing your wallets with the insidious culture of microtransactions, somehow this game manages to be absolutely unique by just bringing the fun back to gaming. No store, no need to check in every day to collect your rewards, no need to sweat out to level up and complete anything. Just pick it up, enjoy the humour and the challenge, and then put it down until the next time you fancy playing for a bit to switch off from the world. If you've enjoyed today's video, something a little bit different, please leave a like. And I hope to see you back here soon, where I'll be bringing you more Call of Duty Warzone and first-person shooter content. But for now, I'm out.
Somebody help me! Where is the manager? He's attacking me! How dare you!